Good morning and happy hump day, everyone. Let's see, let's get to my low and my high and the active times to begin. I would say that my low would be, what would be my low? I'd say my low was, I guess I felt rather sad last night. Because between going to senior night for the Horsehead softball game on Monday and last night going to senior night for flag football, I couldn't help but feel kind of, actually I am sad that I probably won't be able to go to very many games anymore because the season's almost over. But I also felt rather happy for the seniors that are graduating this year. And listen, I was in their shoes at some point. I had to go. I mean, senior night, the way they celebrate senior night now is vastly different from what I had to do back in the day. Which, actually, is the topic for today's video. My high would be, got to see Horseheads play, and they won. And I also got to see my family yesterday. Got to see my nephews and mom and dad. My act of kindness was I took out the garbage for my folks, and so I was coming back into my apartment building last night. I held the door for somebody. That was pretty cool and rather nice of me. So, where do I start with this? Well, obviously, as the term senior night would suggest, it's the last home game for the seniors at, the high school. And, it applies to, any sport, really. It could be senior night for basketball, senior night for football, actually, back in my day, it was senior day, but I'll get to that in a second. Now, let's live in a second. Back in my day, I did football, wrestling, and track. Those were the three sports I did my senior year of high school. Because those are the sports I did all throughout high school. I can't really say football really went the greatest. We lost on senior day. But when I had senior day, this is years ago when Horseheads had their grass football field. So we're way, way back in that area where where the blue field house is. And actually it's where the juniors are supposed to park now for school. Right. So, pretty simple. They'll have they'll have banners, or I say banners, like one long poster board thing with our names written on, stuff like that. They'll announce the name of the senior with the parents they're walking out with. Pretty simple, right? With wrestling, that really was more the same, only there was no banners. And instead of walking out in the field, it was walking out in mat. Track, I'm going to be honest, we didn't really have a senior day. It was pretty quiet, all things considered. Or if we did, I have no memory of it whatsoever. So fast forward to the last couple of days I've gone to senior night games. Obviously, trying to do the math in my head. 17 years ago, that makes a huge difference in terms of how things have changed. And now, they still announce the name of the senior. They'll walk out in front of the crowd with, their parents and family members that they go with. Some people have their brothers and sisters and stuff like that. And that's nice. And I also forgot that they'll have flowers, bouquets of flowers. The hell were my flowers? Huh? I never got flowers. I would really like some flowers. Anyway, so, but prior to like, and they'll do this before the game starts, where they'll like have the ceremony, but they'll have like giant posters of like photos of the athletes, like for all to see. I'm like, we didn't have anything like that back in the day. Like, I mean, granted, this was a different time, and I don't think the technology to make such posters was as widely available as it is today. But I'm like, I'm actually kind of jealous that they have that now. We never got anything like that. Also, this is one thing where I'm kind of glad that we didn't do it back in my day. And I'll explain why in a second. But I think there's a program called My Teacher, My Impact or something, where a senior will pick a teacher that they've had throughout their academic career. It could be, it's usually high school, but, you could do, middle school or even elementary school if it applies to that, as long as it's within the Horsehead School District. And they'll have nice things that they wrote or said about their teacher in question. They'll say thank you for all they've done. In terms of inspiring them to, do great things. I mean, and that's actually really cool. I'm really glad that they have something like that. And for me, I'm both glad and not glad that it didn't exist in my day. For a couple reasons. Because, on the one hand, I'm definitely the kind of guy that would have wanted things to get done over with. And, having a teacher thing, back in the day, I don't know how I would have really felt about that. But let's say that, for the sake of argument, I embraced it. You know what? I really couldn't tell you who I would have had as my teacher. I really don't think I would have known. I got a couple ideas. I shouldn't say that. I did have a few. My 9th grade Spanish teacher, she would have been really cool. My homeroom teacher was really cool as well. Choir teacher was great. My perspectives and drugs teacher I had my senior year. She was awesome. In fact, she's the reason why I say make good choices at the end of every video. Let's see. And technically I could have done, since some of my coaches were also teachers, I could have done a couple of the gym teachers. Specifically my wrestling coach I couldn't really do my wrestling coach because he was I couldn't do my wrestling coach for wrestling. I couldn't do my football coach for football because I think that would have been kind of a conflict of interest. Although, if they did have this, I think for football I would have had my wrestling coach, and for wrestling I would have had my football coach. Actually, I had several football coaches. The lineman coach at the time. If you guys are watching this, you know who I'm referring to. Oh shoot! What about for track though? Well, we didn't really have a senior night for track, but man, one teacher would have to be left out at some point. I don't know. One coach, I don't know. I don't know what I'd do. That's hard. What are the great teachers? You know what? My global teacher. Both of my global teachers were pretty cool. Although I probably, no offense to my global 1 teacher, I probably would have done my global 2 teacher. Who else? My, math A2 math teacher, she was really cool. I probably could have maybe seen me have her be the teacher I had walk out with me. I mean, obviously, I shouldn't just limit it to high school. I mean, I mentioned like a couple, like my 8th grade English teacher, who was also married to my 9th grade Spanish teacher. I could have done both. Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be so cool if I did that. I don't know if it would have worked that way, but it would have been cool. There might be Spanish teachers that were pretty cool. Any of them would have been fine. The home and careers teacher, which was essentially home ec in seventh and 8th grade, she was really nice. I don't know if she'd be in the area anymore. My 7th grade homeroom teacher, who was also my English teacher, she was really cool. Wow. This is rather difficult, isn't it? Like, you think you have an answer for a question like this, and you're like, man, it's kind of hard. I mean, you know what? It's a hard question to answer, but it's a good problem to have. Because for the life of me, I didn't really have any bad teachers when I was in Horseheads. I mean, there were 2 teachers I had that were really bad, but I'll get into that in, December. Actually, hold on. What's today's date? May 14th. Okay. Holy cow. It's literally 7 months until I do my Why I'm Still Here. Oh, yeah, it's 7 months until I do my Why I'm Still Here series of videos. Holy cow. It's going to come up really fast. I'll get into the worst teachers I've had for that later. I guess as long as I'm talking about senior night, I guess I could do Trinity Pauling as well, because I did repeat my senior year. And we didn't really have anything like that at Trinity Pauling either. I mean, Trinity Pauling was a prep school, and a lot of students are boarding students, therefore their parents live far away. So unless your parents lived like really close, kind of hard to really have anything like that. I mean, not to mention the sports I did were cross country, wrestling, and track. If they couldn't do it for track at Horseheads, they're really going to do it for track at Trinity Pauling. Cross country, we only had like a few home meets, but it didn't really occur to us to have an event like that. But then there's wrestling. We didn't really have a senior night for wrestling at Trinity Pauling. I mean, come to think of it, in the entirety of our season, we had 1 home meet ever. Pretty much every dual meet we had was away, which is really kind of cool. Personally, I like going to different places. Even if it was technically in a hostile environment, it was nice to go and see different places I otherwise wouldn't normally see. It's nice. Okay, funny story. Would you believe that in my entirety of Horseheads High School, because since I got cut my sophomore year for JV football, we were supposed to go to Vestal. I've never seen Vestal's football field. Can you believe that? I've never seen it. I know, crazy. I've seen Union Endicotts a bunch of times. Binghamton's I've seen a bunch of times. Elmira and Corning, obviously, I've been to a lot. Ithaca, I've been to Ithaca. Edison, which isn't far from here. Thanks to my brother, I've seen Notre Dame, so there's that. Never been to Vestals. I know, shocking, isn't it? Yeah. That's insane, right? I guess. But back to senior night for football, we lost my senior year on senior day. And it was senior day because remember, we didn't have the stadium that we have now. There were no lights. Every home game we had was Saturday afternoon. So no lights, so it had to be Saturday afternoon, so senior day, not senior night. We lost to Binghamton. For wrestling, we wrestled against Edison, but they didn't have anyone in my weight class, so I had won my match by forfeit. And again, track, we really didn't have much of a senior day. All things considered, it was pretty mundane. Again, this is back in the late 2000s, technically. This is 2007, 2008. Late 2007, 2008. So, yeah, different time. But the feeling of finality is still the same. You know, it really does give you that sense of, holy cow, I'm going to be graduating soon. And that's actually what I need to say to any and all seniors at Horseheads that have had their senior games already for softball, flag football, or baseball, lacrosse, or whatever spring sports you're doing. Congratulations on a wonderful career in the Horseheads School District, whether it be athletically or academically or musically if you did band or choir or whatever it is that you did. You know, you're so close to graduating. You know, it's right within arm's reach. You know, you literally just come to think of it, I think you have actually, knowing Horseheads, they probably won't have their graduation until like June 20 something or whatever. So, yeah, for all intents and purposes, the end of the school year is like 1 month away. That's awesome. I mean, some schools all over the country already ended their school year. I know if you're down in Tennessee, school's like just about over. And if you're in college, school is definitely over right now. But for my area, school has like 1 month left. And if you're a senior, I mean, listen, for some seniors, it probably went by ridiculously fast. Others, I guarantee it was probably the opposite of that. Probably couldn't wait until you got to this point. But, you know, you made it here, and hopefully it was due to making good choices. Just keep that up for another month, and you did it, man. Or girl, if guy or girl watching this, you did it. And, you know, as a Horseheads alumni myself, you know, I can't help but give my sincere congratulations to, you know, the student athletes and really any senior students that made it here. Because you've definitely earned this praise. You got 1 month to go. I'm sure you probably have finals in some of your classes. I'm sure you probably have like projects to do. But just relax. You made it this far. Don't let up on the gas yet. You know, just get to, like, if you can just, I'd say you can relax when you get to get to June 1st. And then you can relax, which, come think of June 1st is a Sunday, so you should be able to relax that day. There you go. Hope you like this video. If you like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, also follow me on social media. As always, I'm very humble in this video for all you guys watching the show today. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. And remember, everything is well talk to you. We'll talk to you back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.